crucial hearing is set to take place today in the high-profile Pune businessman Ketan Agarwal's murder case. Accused Siya Goyal and Chetan Chaudhary will be produced before the Vadgaon court this afternoon as the police custody comes to an end. The Lohgad Police are expected to seek an extension of their custody, arguing that further interrogation is required to complete the investigation. The investigators will also request the court's permission to conduct a polygraph or a lie detection test on both the accused as they attempt to verify statements and gather additional leads in the case. The accused are scheduled to be produced before the Vadgaon court at around 3 p.m. by the Lohgad Police, and the court's decision on the remand plea and the request for polygraph examination is expected to play a significant role in determining the next course of the investigation. Now, the police believe additional custodial interrogation could help them establish the sequence of events and corroborate evidence collected so far. And as part of the ongoing probe, investigators recently took accused Siya Goyal to her residence, where they seized clothes suspected to have been worn around the time of the alleged crime. Police also recovered a mobile. And according to the officials, investigators have questioned both accused for several hours, recreated the crime scene in their presence, and collected multiple digital pieces of evidence as part of the forensic and electronic investigation. Meanwhile, a purported video of Siya Goyal has surfaced on social media. The footage, reportedly recorded at a pub in December 2025, appears to show her speaking aggressively on her mobile phone while holding a beer bottle. The video has since gone viral, but its authenticity has not been independently verified. Authorities have also not been able to confirm whether the footage has any relevance to the murder investigation. Pune businessman Ketan Agarwal was allegedly murdered at the Lohgad Fort on 18th June. And to discuss this further, I'm joined by our esteemed guest this afternoon. I'm joined by Dr. Kapil Kakkad, who's a psychologist here. Dr. Kakkad, thank you for taking your time and joining me here at News9. I want to begin by asking, when we are looking at an episode like this, an incident that has taken place where a lot of questions are being raised over mental health, about criminal mindset. This is a pre-planned, premeditated murder that has been carried out by Siya Goyal and her conduit, in this particular case, Chetan Chaudhary, although the final verdict on it yet to come out. What do you make of a case like this, Dr. Kapil Kakkad? Where lies the area of concern as far as mental health or a mindset change is concerned?
I think more than mental health, this is a classic case where the girl's interaction with her family was limited. She was not confiding enough, or the family was also adamant that she gets married. And when she was forced to do that in many ways, is when she committed this ghastly crime, which nobody would have thought of. In fact, what I understand now through investigation is absolutely it's a pre-planned murder. And for me, she is the mastermind. The thought came to her that for me, it is better that my family, I'll not be able to fight my family. So let me find an easier way out. Now, as I look at the personality and perhaps the past of the girl, Sia, I find her in past also the level of discipline was low. I think she's a class 12th dropout. She was not doing enough what a young girl should be career oriented. Though she wanted to get into a business of her own, but she was too young for it. But at the same time, she wanted a lot of freedom, and she was ready to go to any extent to have that freedom. And that is where it seems that she had a total emotional disconnect and communication, a huge communication wedge between her family and her. And that is, since they were apart, this is where I don't think she had any mentor who would have given her the right approach to. She was working in silos with her boyfriend, who I feel somewhere she would be controlling him to quite a good extent. So the combination and permutation of all these things would lead to a personality which can be a dual personality, where a person in front of the family would be very different from their personal life, and they would be very private in everything, but as far as the family is concerned, they would like to perhaps show that they are quite emotionally attached to the family, and they are confiding everything into the family.
And
So
Dr.
for
Kapil,
me,
is it
it is,
quite
yeah.
rampant? Is it quite conveniently, easy to be somebody holding a dual personality, getting away with anyone detecting that within a family setup especially? And also the fact that the cops, as far as the investigations are concerned, are yet to determine as to who exactly was the entity who pushed Ketan Agarwal to death, whether it was Chetan Chaudhary or was it Siya Goyal. And in that context, they would want to seek permission to carry out a polygraph test. Do you feel that is advisable, that is a need of the hour, given the investigation that is ongoing right now?
So, answering your first question first, what is the probability of people living in a dual personality? Today's generation is more rebel in nature, because they have got things, I would say, in their lap, where the parents had struggled. But this is the generation who would not have seen their parents as much struggling and valuing life as their own parents would have seen their parents, that is their grandparents. So I think that sensitivity today has translated into convenience, and that is where the comfort zone have become so small that one does not, or one is not open to adapting themselves to the comfort zone that they do not want to dwell in. That is one. Secondly, as far as polygraph is concerned, polygraph is going to give a lot of lead to the cops in terms of the evidences, because there are a lot of conflicting views and responses by both Ketan and Sia. And that is what I think the police wants to figure out. And once that is figured out, is the next level of questioning would happen. And after polygraph, if they are still not convinced, they might go for a narco analysis. The only thing is, in all these things, the consent, especially what I understand in narco, the consent is required. But yes, the blood pressure and the pulse of these people, both these people would be checked, and there is a methodology. If you would want, I can very quickly tell you that normally in a polygraph test, what psychologists would do is they would start with irrelevant questions. When I say irrelevant question, it is like, what day is it? What date is it? What time did you get up? How many people are in this room? What is such and such doing? And all that is being monitored through their pulse and blood pressure. From there, they go to a controlled question scenario where they are asked to think about their past time, their happy times, their unhappy times. And that is again the monitoring is done. And from there, the third step is when the psychologist would polygraph would come to the controlled questioning, and that is the most critical part. And that is how in polygraph test, all the three responses are measured: your irrelevant response, your controlled response, and your relevant response, and through BP and pulse, like I said. And that is how police will be able to figure out between the conflicting answers that they are giving, who is right, who is wrong, and that is going to help them in further interrogation. So this is primarily the process of a polygraph test. But yes, at times people can try and fake it, but when you are doing it on two people, so the chances are minimal. And for me, these guys are young, so that is why maybe police did not ask for this narco analysis, and they are going
Right.
for polygraph.
Absolutely. Dr. Kapil Kakkar, thank you for joining me right now and sharing the insight and putting this entire story into perspective.